Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Lab.com. Welcome to today's recap and a look ahead. So you're going to turn on the TV later, or look at the newspaper, you'll see another record high, which is good if you're participating. Now, for traders, I don't think is the time to get excited. I think in the last week and a half, there's been a lot more tradable setups, a lot of tight patterns that resolve to the upside, times to get pretty meaty in some longs, and now into today's move or even Friday's move, I would have said, trim and trail, at least on the indices. For those of you that follow the VTF, or part of Redler All Access, you will have seen that, last Wednesday, I got long, the spiders for the red dog reversal, which I'll show you because a lot of people keep asking about that strategy, and then I'll show you when the ad is, and now I would say today, you probably get, if you were still in it, you sell it. I actually shorted the spiders for the first time today to hedge a portfolio approach. I still have multiple longs on, but I feel like after 4 or 5 days to the upside, now I feel like we could go back and forth a little bit so I could trade around a spider short and maybe even make money on that while having long stocks. And then also, the small caps on Thursday, was the day that I bought them. I figured, hey, if this market's going to go, you consolidated enough, now's the time for the small caps to play catch up. And then Thursday, Friday, into today, the VTF saw me sell it. Not saying it's a short, not saying it's over, but my sweet spot for my process is I try and be in indice moves for 2 to 3 days, sometimes 4. Okay, and then in stock trades, sometimes more than that, sometimes less than that. So anyway, let's go to the S&P cash. Basically, if you look here, this was the pre-election sell-off, the bounce back, and then this is when President Trump was elected, and then here is your accelerated trend that we've been tracking the entire time. What have we been? We've been above the 8 and 21-day moving average pretty much since November. So anybody who's been trying to be short or trying to use opinions, okay, have not been following the technicals. Although sometimes we get tested, but basically, it never broke these areas. So what I was saying before, time to be long, time to get excited. Well, let me show you the S&P. If you guys look on Twitter, you'll see I post this chart every single time. Well, let me tell you, this is a red dog reversal, guys. Okay, that was a jobs report Friday. 2 inside days here, broke below a prior low of 22.87, went to 22.85, came back above it, stopped some people out. This was your spot to get long. That was buyable spot 1. Buyable spot 2 is when it clears, resistance that people are probably short against for a nice, buy in the flag, add to it when it resolves, and now you could have sold some on that day, or you could have sold some Friday. That's when I got rid of my spiders, or waited till today. Look how far we are from the 8 day now and from the 21 day. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up days. Not a time to initiate a new long if you didn't do it in any of these candlesticks, which gave you nice tradable setups. So anyway, we'll see what happens here. At this point, again, doesn't mean it's a blaring short, but if you do have multiple longs, not a bad idea. Let me show you why I bought the IWM. Okay, well, the small caps. All right, right here, they were one of the strongest sectors to go to the upside. Then you had this range that stayed intact. Tried it a few times, got chopped up, and then finally, this was your reversal day. Some guys got long here for the red dog reversal. 134.77 was the pivot. Went below it, came back above it. Okay, nice little tradable move. I didn't do that. I bought it when it actually took back the moving averages, the 8 and the 21 day here, and then stayed with it up until this move. This morning, I would say somewhere around 11 o'clock-ish, I tweeted that I got out of the IWM. Not because I think it's the end of the world or the market's going to crash. I just, actually you can kind of go like this. I figured day 1, 2, 3, 4 for me. I'd rather, get out of some or get out of it and buy it back. I like to, I should have been in here day 1 buy, day 2 add, day 3 sell. That's my day count rule I talk about all the time. Instead, this was my first buy. I added on Friday and I sold it into today. And now we'll see if maybe tomorrow with a little down open, maybe it's buyable. That's just how, you massage positions. Some of you guys bought the XLE on the red dog reversal. Okay, I hate to keep bringing up that name, but this is what's happened last week. This was your red dog reversal point, 71.37. Had a little follow through, so if you bought it here with the stop there, boom, you had actually, nice follow through, and now it's going a little sideways. So if the XLE could hold this spot, who knows, maybe you have another nice tradable spot, to buy versus this, and then add above here for a bit of a catch-up move because the oil names have been out of play. so far holding higher. Another day of holding higher might build some confidence for the XLE to play some catch up. The IBB, remember when that took back all the moving averages? That was really nice, right? Look back on the Twitter feed because everyone says, oh, you talk about it after. No, I don't. This was your wide range bar engulfing day that took back all the moving averages right here. Okay, you also had a little red dog reversal there. And then what did it do? It held above it and it's basically grinded higher. Nice trade for some of you. Now you'll see how it handles this spot. It's already pretty much cleared a little bit of this descending channel here. So overall, nice healthy action in the bio. So you're seeing a lot of nice healthy action. The Qs, by the way, haven't been below the 8-day for all of 2017. For all of you guys just trying to be short and saying it's not going to end well. You know what? Well, it's not ending well for you if you got short here when it broke to new highs, or got short, into this move and then didn't cover here, or didn't cover when it went above this. It, hasn't ended well for you. Or it hasn't, unless you're still in it and you're saying, I'm going to trade out of this at some point, we're going to come back down. Okay, then you missed out on a lot of opportunities in tech the whole way up. But anyway, at this point too, if this was a spot to get long, or maybe when it took out this prior pivot, now to me, I think it's the risk reward of being long here is just not great, especially just in the indices. You want to be in individual names that are in a day one or a day two, etc. That's fine, but indice wise, I don't think this is the best spot. So let's get into some stocks. Apple. What a move, right? How could you have been in Apple responsibly? First of all, if you're an investor, great. Okay, then you've been in it, awesome. If you bought it here, okay, on the red dog reversal to start the year from the report, great. If you added here when it took out 118, even better. If you said, hey, I don't take stock into earnings, I might get crushed. If it misses, you could have said, hey, I'm going to wait for the daily candle to come into play and see if it holds the gap. Held the gap. You could have waited for it to resolve above the 3-day pivot, or even take out the post-earnings candle high, and you had a nice trade. Now all of a sudden, a little bit of a doji, a little bit extended, not a great setup. If you're an investor, okay, it's different. If you're a trader, today shouldn't have been your first day buying Apple, even though it closed at a all-time closing high. It's come a long way into resistance, and this was not the most conducive spot to be a buyer. Probably pauses here a little bit. I'd love to see it pause, maybe even pull in a little bit, and then you get another tradable pattern. Microsoft, I'm long just because, I don't know, it was a little strong this morning and I haven't played it in a while and had decent numbers, and I think it could work its way back to highs. This was your little spot that I cleared and continued. Just to, people are asking me about that. Last week we had a good trade on Netflix and BABA. Netflix today I sold when it went red. It's been a little laggy lately. I think it's a new technical term. So when it went red, I was like, you know what? Let me sell some. I sold some strength, sold it there. It actually made a 15-minute low, and I said, you know what? I'm going to give it to that 15-minute low. If it breaks that, I'll revisit, because who knows where it'll go after breaking, a 15, 30-minute low. It's part of my strategies. Okay, and here's, now Netflix. I don't think it's game over, but this is not a nice-looking candle for Netflix. Okay, here was a nice-looking candle, right? That's when it broke out above that 102.50. Remember, we were long tier 1, added tier 2, back to tier 1. I've been holding like a tier 1, and I got out of it today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Netflix is kind of, sometimes wishy-washy. It showed a little relative weakness. There was news about Amazon getting an HBO channel. I thought maybe that would open Netflix down. Thank goodness it didn't, and gave us a chance to get out of it. If you want to see a daily tactic on how to get out of it after the, so this was sell some strength, okay, into that, which is what we do, and the VTF saw that. And then it put in the low here, okay? This was in the first, I guess, half an hour of the day. So when I left for the gym, I put a stop in at 104.80 and said, if it breaks this low, it's not that strong. You know what? I'm playing it for momentum. Let me get out. So, went to the gym, and all of a sudden went to Fox Business, and I came back. I was stopped out, and thank goodness, because I didn't have to be in for this mess into the close. So sell some strength. Some guys might have even sold it here when it broke this mini flag to the downside. That's being a little tight. So I just waited. I said, hey, this is the morning low, the first 30-minute or 60-minute low. I'll put my stop in there while I go to the gym into Fox Business, and that happened. BABA, I'm still in it, but I'm kind of hesitant on it just because it's not acting great. It's still in this little flag. Had a great trade off the bat, but it kind of just faded again. I still think it's okay. This was that tradable move, buy some, add some, and then thought it would go again, and it just didn't. So now I would say this could be your stop, and who knows, maybe tomorrow if it acts okay above this 104, it can continue. I'm still in some of this. Win, not trading great, but not horrible either. Holding the 8-day moving average. I'm in the calls. When did I get the calls? Right here on this pullback. I'm also in some stock. Maybe some point you could add to it if you see real volume. It's kind of lagged the last 2 days and gets above this 120. And then if it does, you have a big, channel of resistance higher. So we'll see if something good happens. There soon or not. It's a very choppy name. That's why I went with the option, so I didn't have to trade it. But I thought there was a decent enough setup that maybe you could be in some stock, and if it goes, you could double dip and be in it. Big channel, has been in this channel for quite some time. The banks had a big push today. Goldman Sachs back to highs, might rest until we hear what Yellen has to say. Looks good, but not enough power today. Bank of America been in since last week. I did add today. I'm hoping. I hate the word friggin' hope, but I did add today. I'm in a decent amount. I'm in more than I had last night, and I was hoping that we can get a breakout trade above this and start and see 24.5 this week. I still think it could happen, just because we sold off a little bit today. I don't think it's the end of the world. I would think that if bigger volume comes in, we get a little bit of a hawkish Yellen. You can make a quick 50 cents, 75 cents, and you could grab size. So we'll see what happens. Maybe you have to deal with an inside day tomorrow if the indices have a little bit of a break. But this, to me, looks really good. Amazon, some of you guys bought on the red dog reversal here. I actually bought it here when it cleared this pivot, but I sold it obviously early. I thought we'd get a gap fill. I didn't think we'd continue back towards the highs here, but at least I actually was thinking about shorting it today. I'm happy I didn't. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I'd like to see some kind of sideways action here, a little bit, right? Go sideways a little bit so you can feel comfortable buying through here for another move, because it just went 5 days. I hate buying something after 5 days. But little inside action, and that could be a better trade there. Mobileye, I've been eyeing it. Came out with some news today. I am in it. I wish it closed a little bit better, but I'm going to try and stay with it a little bit longer. I do think it takes this spot out. This was the original automated car, stock, so to speak, with the chips for et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, broke out of this. We'll see if there's any continuation tomorrow. I'm not in huge, but I'm in some huge. I'm only in some, and we'll see if it continues. What else? Guys, we're trading. This little tiny stock, I shouldn't even put it up. AUPH broke out of this little bull flag. See if that continues. That's all I'll say about that. It's very, very speculative. Twilio. Some guys are in it again. Why are they in it again? Because it came out with earnings, didn't go down, cleared this level. I put it in my note saying, it could be worthy of a rounding up type trade, and actually had a good day also. This morning, me and DP were talking about ACIAI, that it's probably very oversold into earnings, and then boom, this doesn't look like a lot, but if you went long in the first 30 minutes, it was up, a decent percentage, almost right back to the 50-day. Earnings aren't out this week, so it could squeeze a little bit further, but we'll see. Obviously this trend is a lot different than it was, but every now and then there's a tradable move, and a lot of guys are talking about it in the chat room. Sometimes, it's worthy of a look, and I think Deutsche Bank upgraded it this morning, which kind of helped the thought process, and now we'll see what happens tomorrow. Some will probably be long this for a little follow through overnight, which makes sense. Day one sometimes leads to day two. We shall see. And then NVIDIA on the flip side. Day one down could lead to day two down. So here you go. For those of you who are like saying, hey, Red Dog, why don't you short NVIDIA? You know what? I probably should have. I didn't. But why would you have been short NVIDIA? Because, hey, failed at this pivot, closed below the inside, this 3-day range low, and now you had your day two down. So day one down could lead to day two down, just the same way day one up leads to day two up. It just wakes up a move. And this one, oh my goodness, it failed at highs, didn't act well after earnings. Maybe I have to sell it. Okay, look where it came from. So that gives up, a heads up that, hey, if it breaks this low here, it could continue down, and that's what it did. So now tomorrow, the best scenario would be if it opens lower, you guys get paid if you're short overnight, which I'm not. I'm just giving you the strategy. And then perhaps we could buy it at the 50-day, or use today's low, which is 108.20 as a spot for maybe a red dog reversal entry versus instead of 120, you get 106, something around there, and it's just worthy of a look. It'll be on my note tomorrow morning. And that's that. I got to get going. Hope you had a decent day. Lots of tradable moves still. Day not to really enter new indice longs, in my opinion. Doesn't mean you can go all in short, but I think, like for the first time, I'm short some spiders versus my longs, thinking that even if we gap up tomorrow, I could short more, trade around it. Anyone caught from last week probably having a hard time trading around it. From here, you probably could trade around it. See you in the morning.